Hello students. Yesterday we have seen the case of speed of traveling wave and how can we derive a formula for it and how can we calculate it. We have understood that, and also we have just seen the case of sound wave, and in the last we have just I have just told you a summary of the chapter that we have studied and how can we understand it. Actually, if step by step you are try to understand all the concept, then that will be very easy for you actually to understand it. So try to understand only is from the starting, from the basic concept. Don't try to ever learn it from the middle portion. Always try to understand first of all its basic, that is very necessary. So that's why I just started it from the basic concept, and after that every day I am just discussing the same basic concept so that you can understand it easily. So today let's see what is the speed of transverse wave that is produced in any stressed spring. So we have two types of waves in case of mechanical waves, that is transverse wave and longitudinal waves. So longitudinal waves examples we have already seen, like sound wave. And if suppose that a string is stressed, and in the stressed spring whenever the vibrations is produced, then in that case you can see that string vibrates in the perpendicular direction to the motion, the direction of the propagation of wave. So in this way you can see that here transverse waves that are generated in the stressed spring. So what will be the speed of that transverse wave when we are taking the case of the stressed spring? So this can be derived with the help of dimensional analysis easily. So for that factor we have seen that the speed of that transverse wave that is generated due to vibrations of the molecules of that spring that are vibrating perpendicular to it, and simple harmonically they are vibrating, then due to their vibration the wave it constituted, that is transverse wave. So the speed of it can be easily calculated, and that speed is seen that it is depending on the two factors. First is it depends on the tension of the spring. Means we have stressed a spring. So suppose that if this spring is stressed, and in this stressed spring, if just production of vibrations are here, and due to that a wave is generated in this, then in that case obviously there is some tension in the spring. And what will be the tension, or what will be the velocity, this is depending on the tension. Obviously if suppose that the vibrations are greater, then in that case velocity will be greater definitely. So in this way you can see that this velocity is depending on the factor, that is first of all tension. So and the second factor that on which it is depending, that is linear mass density of the string. So if this is spring, linear mass density means mass per unit length. So suppose that mass of a string is capital M and the length of a string is capital L. So mass per unit length, that will be M by L, and suppose we are just denoting it by small m here. And the waves that are produced in this string we are denoting it by small p, and tension of a string, that is capital T. So it has been seen that this velocity of the spring, velocity of the transverse wave that is produced in any stressed spring, that is directly proportional to, or simple actually not directly or inversely, we will see that later, but still that is proportional to the linear mass density and the factor tension. And on these two factors it is depending on. Means whenever the mass per unit length that will change, according to that the velocity will change also, and whenever tension in this spring will change, then according to that velocity will change also. So how it is changing, whether it is directly proportional to time tension, or inversely proportional to tension, or directly proportional to this linear mass density, or inversely proportional, let's see them, and we can derive this by using dimensional analysis formula. So for that formula, suppose here we are just writing it B is directly proportional to m power a and t power b. To calculate what is the value of a and b with the help of dimensional analysis, you can calculate it. So for that, let's write it k m power a t power b. Now just write on both sides the dimensional formula of in left side and right side also. So in left side, what will be its dimensional formula? This is the speed, means meter per second at t minus 1. On right side, this is constant dimensionless. This is a mass per unit length, m by l. This is so ml minus 1. Clear? Power a. This is tension, and you know that tension is tension has the dimension of force. So this is m l t minus 2 power b. So guys, there is, I think, no problem if you know the dimension of all these quantities. If you don't know actually that you are feeling difficulty to write the dimensional formula, then first of all try to remind what is the formula of tension and other factors. After that, just split them into possible smaller particles, a smaller value or smaller units. After that, you will be able to write its dimensional formula. So simply, if suppose that you are not able to understand what is the value of tension, then you can take the example of any. Suppose that if any string that is attached to it to anything, and tension T is here, a body of mass m is attached, then obviously its weight will be acting in downward direction. So in the equilibrium, T will be equal to m into g, and m into g you can also write its dimensional analysis very easily. So you can understand the dimensional formula in many ways. Whatever way you are feeling that is easy, you can adopt that. Clear? So if we have just written it, then now let's solve it. Just solve this side. This will be equal to L t minus 1, and this will be equal to, just take here m power a, and this will be m power b. So first of all, let's write it in this form: minus a into b, L b t minus 2b. Clear? Just multiply these factors here. Then let's just solve it. So this will be equal to m power a plus b, L power minus a here plus b, and t power minus 2b. So this we have obtained this side, and this side, this is Lt minus 1. And now the dimensional analysis tells us that these two dimensions on both sides, that should be equal for any formula, for stabilization of formula. It means that the power of these factors, that will be equal to the power of the factors or same units that on the second side. So here m is not available, then m power 0 will be here. Obviously you can write it. Then compare these all factors here. So suppose here we are writing just m power 0. So now let's compare the powers on both sides. Finally, what will we get? That will be a plus b. This is equal to 0 first. Second, minus a plus b, that is equal to 1 L power, and t power is minus 2b. This is equal to minus 1. Clear? So from here we can solve it easily. So let's solve it. This will give us b equal to 1 by 2. Let's put this value here. You can understand calculate what is the value of a. In any of the formula you can put actually it. So value that will be obtained here, this is equal to minus 1 by 2. Clear? A is equal to minus b. Simple. Minus 1 by 2. So finally we have just to get what is the value of a and b. Now let's put it in the formula that we have written in the starting. That was v is directly proportional to m power a t power b. So to m power minus 1 by 2 and t power 1 by 2, or in other way you can write v is directly proportional to root t by m. So this is the formula for the speed of transverse wave on a stressed spring. So on the stressed spring, the speed of transverse wave, that is directly proportional to the tension produced in the spring, means greater will be the tension, greater will be the speed, because greater will be the vibrations there. And if mass per unit length that is greater, then obviously you know that mass offers resistance due to its inertial property. In that case the waves, the speed of waves that will retard. So obviously greater will be the mass per unit length, less will be the velocity of the wave that is produced in the stressed spring. So I think is the concept of transverse wave that is produced on any stressed spring, that is clear. In the same manner you can also calculate what will be the speed of transverse wave that is produced in any solid. In case of actually solid, this speed is dependent on the factor that is its modulus of rigidity. And rigidity, it obviously every solid has the elastic property, and that elastic property is defined by its modulus of rigidity for its shape. And the secondary fact, that is density of the material. On these two factors it is dependent on, and if you will solve it, then you can obtain V is directly proportional to eta by rho, or here proportionality actually constant is, you can take 1 here, and this is eta by rho. So this value is obtained for the production of transverse wave in case of solids. Here I am only talking about the transverse wave, not about the longitudinal wave. Later we will discuss that. But if whenever the transverse wave that is produced in case of solids, then this speed of the transverse wave that will depend on two factors, that is first is modulus of rigidity of that state, and second is density of the material of the medium. On these two factors it is dependent on. And here we can also see that greater will be the modulus of rigidity, greater will be its velocity, as greater will be the vibrations in this case. And here because greater force will be applicable here, and in this case density, if this will be greater, it means that mass is going to be greater, and due to its inertial property obviously it will retard the motion, then speed will decrease in that case. So if greater will be the density of the material, then less will be the speed of the transverse wave that will be produced in case of solid. So if you are just increasing the density of the material, then speed will decrease, and ultimately for a certain value of density obviously you can see that no wave, transverse wave, can be propagate in the solids. So I think that is the concept behind the speed of transverse wave on a stressed spring and in any solid, that is both factors are clear to you. You can understand easily, and you can calculate both of the formula easily with the help of dimensional analysis. So sometimes you have to use the dimensional analysis. That is very effective way to actually establish formula, and in practical way actually we have established this. First of all, practically we have seen that the speed of transverse wave is depending on which factors. So for that we have seen that is it depending only on two factors, and after that we have tried to solve it by help of dimensional analysis. So with the help of these way we can establish this formula easily. So the next concept that we have to study, that is the speed of longitudinal waves. So as we have already discussed, how can we derive formula for the speed of transverse wave in different way, and also like in stressed spring and in case of solids. So in the same way, in case of solids we can calculate what will be the speed of longitudinal wave. Same method, by the dimensional analysis we can establish it also. So we have seen that in case of longitudinal waves, wave is traveling in form of rarefaction and compressions continuously, as it the wave that is propagating in the direction, and particles are oscillating in the same direction in case of longitudinal wave. Suppose wave is propagating in this way and particles are oscillating in this way. So here we are seeing that the direction of oscillation of particle and propagation of wave both are in the same direction, they have same direction, so this is longitudinal wave. So what will be the speed of the longitudinal wave that is produced by the particles that are oscillating in the same direction? And in case of longitudinal waves, rarefaction and compressions are generated in the system, and in that case whenever rarefaction and compressions means a stressed portion and a diffused portion that we are getting, in that case we can see that there is a change in volume takes place, effective change in volumes that are taking place. As in case of compressions, the particles that are coming closer to each other, then we can say that the volume, effective volume, that is decreasing here. And in case of rarefaction, the particles are far apart from each other, means they are just oscillating in this way. You can see here they are come closer and they are going far away. So in the case when they are going far away, in that way you can see that here the change in volume means greater change in volume takes place, and here also change in volume takes place. So obviously you know that the change in volume property that is described whenever and force and pressure that is applied on the system to disturb it, obviously. So concept of bulk modulus that arises in the material. So the first thing in the case of longitudinal wave that is arising, that is the concept of bulk modulus. Obviously here change in volume takes place, and due to that bulk modulus concept will be here. Second factor, here we are seeing that whenever particles are come closer to each other, the density of the particles that are increasing, or here density is decreasing. It means that the second factor on this vibrations is depending on that the density of the material. So if on these two factors, obviously if the particle oscillation is depending, then obviously the wave velocity will depends on also these two factors. So these are two factors that are responsible for the production of wave in the system, or longitudinal wave in the system. Means velocity of longitudinal wave is depending on these two factors, bulk modulus of the material, and second the density of the material of the medium. Clear? So on these two factors it is depending. So let's write, suppose that v is the velocity of the longitudinal wave. If you are confusing, then you can write vl also. This is directly proportional to the factor that is bulk modulus, and we are representing it by capital B or capital K. If you are using, then you can use that also. There is no confusion at all. Here why I am not using, actually we have used K for the denotation of propagation constant, that's why you will be confused. So I have just used P here for the bulk modulus. And second factor that on this is depending on, that is the density of the material of the medium. So on these two factors, the longitudinal waves that are produced in the solid, that is dependent on. So suppose I don't know, and on which way these are this velocity is depending on these two factors, means whether this is proportional or inversely proportional, we don't know. So for that, let's put here this value A and B, and with dimensional analysis we will see that what is the correct expression for the velocity of longitudinal wave. So for that way, let's start to write the dimensional analysis. First of all, let's write it B equal to some K B power A and this rho power B. Clear? Now we can write the dimensional formula for these factors. Then for velocity you can write dimensional formula, that is equal to L1T minus 1. Clear? LT minus 1. Second, for bulk modulus, as you know that bulk modulus, that is, or any elastic constant, that is defined by stress upon strain, and you know that there is no dimension of strain, as strain is change in configuration upon original configuration, then finally there will be no dimension. So this is dimension less than, what is the dimension? That is stress and stress are expressed by force per unit area. So you can use that expression, and with the help of that you will be able to write its dimensional formula. So for force per unit area, you know that the dimension of force is mLT minus 2 upon L square. After that, if you will solve it, then it will be obtained m L minus 1 T minus 2. This is the dimensional formula for the bulk modulus. And third factor that we have, that is density of the material. And density, you know that meter per mass per unit volume means ml T minus ml minus 3. So with the help of it, let's write it m1 L minus 3 T 0. So these are the dimensional formula that we have written. Now let's write it in this equation and just equate them and solve for it to obtain the value of A and B. So we have B equal to, so what is the formula for B? That is this. This is equal to B power A. So write it m1 T minus 1 L minus 1 T minus 2 power A, and for rho that is m1 L minus 3 T0 power B. Clear? Now let's solve it again. Then it will be m power A L power minus A T power minus 2A, and here we will get mB. Let's write it for T. T will be obviously 0 here, and L minus 3 B here. And finally, if you will write it, then we will obtain m A plus B L minus A minus 3B, and T, obviously this will be minus 2. This is 0 obviously. And now let's equate this or compare the power factor here on both sides. We will obtain the value of A and B easily. So on comparing, we can see that A plus B, that is equal to 0. Let's write it above. A plus B, that is equal to 0. Second thing that we have from this, minus A minus 3B, that is equal to 1. And third thing that we have, minus 2A, its value is equal to minus 1. So these three equations we have got for the solution of this A and B. And from here, the value of A can be obtained, that is equal to 1 by 2. And if you will put this value anywhere, then we can solve it easily. And from this expression, we can obtain that the value of B, that is equal to minus A, or B is equal to minus 1 by 2. That can be obtained here. So after solution, you can write and you can understand easily what will be the value of it. And let's put that value in the formula of B. So we have B is equal to some K, B power A and rho power B. So suppose the value of A is 1 here, then the formula for B, that will be equal to B power A. It means that the value of A is 1 by 2 and the value of B is minus 1 by 2. So finally the B that is obtained, this is equal to B by rho. So this is the value for the speed of longitudinal wave in case of solids that has bulk modulus capital B, and density of the material of the medium is rho here. So on these two factors it is dependent on. And suppose that if a solid that is struck and also suppose that a solid bar we are taking, then in case of solid bar, obviously the concept of young modulus will be there. Then if we are just taking the concept of length, then there will be change in length that will take place due to compressions and rarefactions that will be produced in the system. So if thin bar that we are taking, in that case change in volume will not take place, obviously change in length will take place. So that concept will give the concept of elasticity, or a simple young modulus of elasticity. So in place of bulk modulus we will use their young modulus. So for that solid bar you can write this value with the help of this. I think as there is no confusion in that section. If we are taking the bar that is thin, then obviously due to compression and rarefaction there will be change in length only. So if change in length is taking place, then obviously young modulus concept will be there. So whatever they will be, you can, in the general way you can see that the velocity of longitudinal waves case of solid, that is directly proportional to the elastic behavior of the solid. Means greater will be the elastic constant, whatever it is young modulus or it is bulk modulus, whatever it is. If it is greater, then in that way vibrations produced in the system will be greater, and velocity of the longitudinal wave that will be also greater. And if the density of the material of the medium that is smaller, and it means that if the density is decreasing, then in that way velocity will increase, and if density is increasing, then velocity will decrease. As obviously with density you can see that the inertia concept that will plays an important role there, and due to that it will try to restore the energy, means it will try to only bring the system to its equilibrium in the greater way. Then it will try to seize the oscillation of the particle, and if there will be no oscillation, then there will be no production of wave in that system. So obviously velocity of wave that will decreased. So I think the concept behind the dependency of velocity of transverse wave and longitudinal wave in case of solids and like in case of the stress string that we have discussed, that is all clear to you guys. So today we have discussed the speed of transverse wave and speed of longitudinal wave. Again, in the summarized way, let's see the things that we have discussed today. We have discussed two of the things today, that is the speed of transverse wave that is produced in any stress spring. As you have to first understand whether the vibrations that are producing, that is produces transverse wave or that is producing longitudinal wave. After that you will be able to understand the wave concept easily. So in case of stress spring, if you can see that the if vibrations are produced, and we can produce vibrations in this way and waves that is propagating in this way. So in this wave you can see that the vibrations are perpendicular to the propagation of wave. So if these are perpendicular, then obviously transverse wave will be there, and that transverse wave is depending on this factor. With the help of that, if you will use dimensional analysis formula, you can understand the speed of wave, and you can calculate its speed if you know the tension of the spring and also the mass per unit length of the spring. In the same manner, in case of longitudinal waves, if you are just seeing that particles are oscillating in the same direction as the wave is propagating, then in that case obviously the wave that will be longitudinal. And let's see, means always try to understand on which factor is can be dependent on. The first of all you have to know what are the changes that are producing in the system due to propagation of wave or due to vibration of particles. After that you will be able to understand the dependency concept, and after that if you will use dimensional analysis, you can formulate the formula for it, and even you can calculate easily if you know the density of the material and elastic constant for it. So with the help of that you will be able to solve it easily. So I think guys there is no confusion. So this actually formula is known as Newton's formula, and after that actually there are some corrections in this formula. This is not accurate whenever we have seen it for after calculations. Actually when we have calculated the speed of sound and other factors with the help of it, then we have seen this is not correct. So Laplace just made a correction on this factor with the addition of atomicity in this. So in next class we will see that what is the correction in this formula and why it is needed for the correction. So we will see that in next class, guys. So for today I think you have understood all the concepts, so let's end the class here.